Hi, I'm Julio.
And I'm the AI that will make this story even more unpredictable.
Here's how it works. I write the first 4 chapters full of mystery, clues, and twists.
And then I step in to write the final chapter.
But here's the challenge. Can you guess the ending the AI will create before it's revealed?
I doubt you can. My endings always have a hidden surprise.
So, join us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the idea and share in the comments how you think this story should end. Will your theory beat the AI's twist? The wood splinters beneath my fingers, decades of Louisiana humidity making the boards soft as wet cardboard. Sweat trickles down my spine despite the evening chill. 3 days in this inherited colonial nightmare, and I'm already talking to myself. Classic Eliza behavior, my mother would say. Something shifts behind the wall. Not a sound, but a presence. I freeze, chisel suspended midair. The darkness in the corner of the room seems to pulse as if breathing. Just my imagination, always my overactive imagination. Focus, I whisper, my voice swallowed by the empty house. The last board comes loose with a sickening crack. I shine my flashlight into the cavity and spot it immediately. A bundle wrapped in yellowed fabric, tied with frayed twine. My heart hammers as I reach for it, half expecting something to grab my wrist. The package feels impossibly heavy for its size. Outside, the swamp whispers with night sounds I can't identify. I've traded Savannah's familiar rhythms for this alien place, all because Aunt Cordelia, a woman I'd never met, decided to leave me a house I never wanted. The twine snaps easily, disintegrating between my fingers. The fabric falls away, revealing a stack of leather-bound notebooks, their spines cracked with age. The pages flutter as if exhaling a long-held breath. I open the top one, and the paper crackles beneath my touch. The handwriting is tight, controlled, female, I think instinctively. They know what you did, but no one will ever speak. My blood turns to ice. The words seem to leap from the page, reaching for me across time. Not just any words, words that feel meant for me. I slam the notebook shut, then immediately reopen it, as if the text might have changed. It hasn't. The walls of the room suddenly feel too close. I back away from the hidden cavity, notebooks clutched against my chest. Something scuttles across the floor. A water bug, probably. But in my mind, it's something following me, watching me. What did I do? Who are they? This is ridiculous, I say aloud. But my voice sounds foreign, like it belongs to someone else. It's just an old diary. But why hide it inside a wall? And why does it feel like it's addressing me directly? A floorboard creaks downstairs. A house settling, nothing more. But my body tenses anyway. I flip through more pages, scanning rapidly. Names I don't recognize. Places I've never been. Dates from nearly a century ago. Then, on page 17, my own name stares back at me. Eliza will return when the time comes. My name. In a notebook hidden in a wall, written decades before I was born. A sharp knock at the front door echoes through the house. 3 precise raps that seem to vibrate up through the floorboards and into my bones. I stand frozen, the notebook open in my trembling hands, as footsteps begin to climb the stairs. I shove the notebooks under a loose floorboard and stand, heart thundering against my ribs. The footsteps pause on the landing, heavy, deliberate, not the uncertain steps of someone exploring an empty house. Hello? The voice is male, drawling Louisiana vowels. Miss Blackwood? Sheriff Mercer, saw your lights on. Sheriff? I exhale shakily, push hair from my damp forehead. Nothing to fear from law enforcement, right? Yet something cold slithers down my spine. Coming, I call, my voice steadier than I feel. The sheriff stands taller than the doorframe, his silhouette blocking the dim hallway light. His badge catches what little illumination there is, a small sun against his dark uniform. His face remains in shadow. Late to be doing renovations. He gestures at the pry bar and the hole in the wall. His gaze lingers there a beat too long. Just exploring. It's a strange feeling, inheriting a house from someone you never met. I force a smile, wondering if he can see the pulse hammering in my throat. Strange indeed. He steps inside without invitation, boots leaving wet prints on the ancient floorboards. Your aunt was quite a character around here. Great aunt, I correct automatically. I never knew her. He looks at me, eyes suddenly catching the light. They're a washed-out blue, like faded denim. That right? Most folks assumed otherwise, with how often she spoke about you. My mouth goes dry. She spoke about me? Oh yes, Cordelia was quite certain you'd come back someday. His emphasis on back makes my skin prickle. Said you had unfinished business. The words from the notebook flash through my mind. Eliza will return when the time comes. I've never been here before, I say firmly. Sheriff Mercer's thin lips curve upward, but the smile doesn't touch those pale eyes. Memory's a funny thing, isn't it? Especially childhood memories. I grew up in Savannah. Did you now? Not a question. His gaze drifts around the room, pausing at the spot where I hid the notebooks. Found anything interesting in your exploration? I swallow hard. Just dust and spiders. He nods slowly. You should be careful in this old place. Houses like these, they got secrets. Walls that listen. He taps the plaster beside him. Floors that remember. His boot scuffs the wood near the loose board. I'll keep that in mind. You do that. He turns to leave, then pauses. Folks around here still talk about what happened in '93, just so you know. What happened in '93? I ask, unable to help myself. He studies me for a long moment. Maybe you should ask that question in town. See who's willing to answer. Another mirthless smile. Lock your doors, Miss Blackwood. Swamp gets real dark at night. After he leaves, I retrieve the notebooks with shaking hands. Flip to the first page again. That chilling sentence. They know what you did, but no one will ever speak. I grab my laptop, search Blackwood, Louisiana, 1993. Nothing relevant appears. The second notebook starts with a date, May 4th, 1963. The handwriting is the same, but the ink has faded to sepia. Returned to find the child gone. Insists she was taken properly, but I have my doubts. Too many questions from town. Must never know what happened here. The letter jumps out at me. My initial? Coincidence? Surely. I keep reading, skipping ahead through mundane entries until another passage catches my eye. October 17th, 1963. The child's mother came today. Had to send her away. Some prices are too high, even for what she offered. The swamp keeps its secrets. Says what's done cannot be undone. My phone buzzes, startling me so badly I drop the notebook. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. A woman's voice, elderly but sharp. Elizabeth Blackwood? This is Meredith Thibodeau from next door. I knew your aunt. I think we need to talk about what you found in the wall. How could she possibly know? The room suddenly feels colder. I snap the curtains shut, but not before I catch a glimpse of something. Someone. Standing at the edge of the property where the manicured lawn surrenders to swamp. Just a shadow among shadows. My phone buzzes again. A text message this time. Don't trust Thibodeau. She was there in '93. The number is blocked. I drop the phone as if it's burned me. Another tap at the window, like fingers testing the glass. Wind in the trees, I tell myself. Just wind. I grab my car keys, desperate to escape to town, find a coffee shop with Wi-Fi, with people. The floorboard where I found the notebooks creaks beneath my feet. In the beam of my flashlight, I notice something I missed before. A child's handprint preserved in the decades of dust beneath the floorboard. Small, delicate, 5 perfect fingers pressed into history. And beside it, scratched into the wood, Eliza was here. The town of St. Cyril is barely more than a main street flanked by buildings that haven't changed since the 1950s. My hands still shake on the steering wheel as I park outside Doffin's Coffee. Rain begins to patter against the windshield, soft at first, then a sudden downpour that transforms the world outside into a shimmering blur. Inside, conversations pause as I enter. Eyes track me to the counter, where a barista with faded tattoos studies my face too intently. "You're Cordelia Blackwood's niece," she states. Not a question. "Great niece," I correct automatically. "Your face is just like hers." She slides a menu across the counter. "Except the eyes. You got your daddy's eyes." My spine stiffens. "You knew my father?" She shrugs. "Everyone knew everyone back then." I order coffee, retreat to a corner table, and open my laptop. The cafe's Wi-Fi password is Remembrance 1993. The coincidence makes my stomach lurch. An elderly man at the next table leans over. "You're staying at the Blackwood place?" His roomy eyes narrow. "Brave girl." "Why brave?" He glances around, then drops his voice. "After what happened, the girl." A memory flashes, unexpected, fragmented. Murky water, a hand reaching down, a whispered voice saying, "Hush now, Eliza." I blink it away. False memory, has to be. "What girl?" I ask. The old man suddenly looks uncertain. "Maybe I'm confused. Happened so long ago." He taps his temple. Mind plays tricks. Before I can press him, my phone buzzes. Unknown number again. "Meet me behind Guidry's Market. 10 minutes. About your father." My father died when I was 12. Car accident in Atlanta. At least that's what my mother always told me. Outside, the rain has slackened to a mist that beads in my hair. Guidry's Market sits at the edge of town, its neon sign flickering weakly against the gray sky. I circle to the back, where loading docks face the encroaching swamp. A woman waits, huddled beneath an overhang. She's maybe 50, with silver streaking her dark hair, arms wrapped tightly around herself. When she sees me, something like pain crosses her face. "Jesus, you look just like him." Her voice is smoke and gravel. Same walk, too. "Who are you?" I demand, staying beyond arm's reach. "Loretta Guidry." She pulls a pack of cigarettes from her pocket, lights one with trembling fingers. "Your daddy and I were close. My father never lived here." She laughs, a harsh sound. "That what Charlotte told you? Your mother always was good at rewriting history." She drags deeply on her cigarette. "Michael Blackwood was born and raised right here in St. Cyril, left when he was 20, came back in 93 with you in town." The world seems to tilt sideways. "No, that's not." "You were 4 years old," she continues relentlessly. "Pretty little thing with pigtails. You stayed with Cordelia while your daddy handled his business." Another flash. Sitting on wooden steps, watching fireflies rise from the grass. A woman's hands braiding my hair, the scent of jasmine. What business? My voice sounds distant, like it belongs to someone else. Loretta's eyes dart toward the swamp. Some things better left buried. But they're coming to the surface now, aren't they? Just like she said they would. Who said? Cordelia. She knew you'd come back once she died. Said the debt would be paid then. Loretta flicks her cigarette into a puddle. "You found the journals, didn't you? That's why you're asking questions." My heart hammers. "How do you know about those?" "Because I helped her hide them." Loretta steps closer, lowers her voice. You need to burn them, tonight, before they find out you have them. Who are they? The Mercers, the Thibodeaus, all of them. Her fingers dig into my arm. They've been waiting for you to come back, waiting to finish what started in '93. A police cruiser turns into the alley, headlights cutting through the mist. Sheriff Mercer. Loretta curses, shoves something into my hand. Storage Unit 17, Bayou Lockup. Keys inside. Get what's there and get out of town. She melts into the shadows between buildings before I can respond. I look down at what she gave me. A locket on a tarnished chain. I click it open. Inside is a faded photo of my father, young and smiling, arm around a woman who isn't my mother. On the back of the tiny picture, cramped writing, M and L, summer '92, before the flood. The cruiser stops. Sheriff Mercer rolls down his window. Making friends, Miss Blackwood. His pale eyes flick to where Loretta disappeared. Just getting directions, I lie. Funny place for that. He studies me. Interesting call came into the station. Someone reported a break-in at your house, just now. My blood freezes. I've been here. Yes, you have. His radio crackles. He speaks into it briefly, then returns his attention to me. You should head back. Make sure nothing's missing. I drive with white knuckles, the locket heavy in my pocket. The parish road winds through cypress trees draped with Spanish moss, their shadows reaching across the asphalt like grasping fingers. My phone buzzes again. This time a media message. I pull over to open it. The photo shows the room where I found the notebooks. The floorboard is upturned, the wall cavity exposed. On the bare plaster, someone has written in what looks horribly like blood. She remembers. Finish it. Below the photo, a message. They're coming for you now. Like they came for her. I don't go home. The locket burns in my pocket like a hot coal as I drive past my turnoff, accelerating toward the edge of town where Bayou Lockup squats beside the highway. A sprawl of corrugated metal units baking in the humid air. No attendant, just a keypad gate with peeling paint and security cameras that look more decorative than functional. My father's face haunts me. Not the father I remember, stern, distant, buried in a closed casket after they said the crash left him unrecognizable, but the young man in the locket, smiling, in love, here. I punch in the gate code from Loretta's note. The mechanism groans, then yields. Unit 17 sits at the back, its door streaked with rust. The key slides into the padlock with unsettling ease, as if it's been recently oiled. Inside, the stench hits me first, mildew and something chemical beneath it. A single bulb dangles from the ceiling, activated by a pull chain. Filing cabinets line one wall. Cardboard boxes stack against another. In the center, covered by a stained tarp, hulks something large and misshapen. I approach it slowly, tug at the corner of the tarp. It slides away to reveal an old John boat, its hull crusted with dried mud. Inside, fishing gear, rope, a rusty tackle box, and a child's pink raincoat folded neatly on the seat. Another memory surfaces. Unwanted, visceral. Rain drumming on plastic. The smell of wet earth. My father's voice. Just a little while longer, Lisbeth, then we'll go home. I stagger back, knock into a filing cabinet. The drawer rolls open, revealing hanging folders labeled by year. I pull out 1993. Inside, newspaper clippings, yellowed with age. I scan the headlines. Local child still missing. Search continues. Swamp search called off. Authorities fear the worst. Memorial service held for Rosemary Thibodeau, 5. My hands shake as I flip through the articles. A photo shows a search party wading through murky water. In the background, barely visible, my father. Another clipping from a regional paper. Child's disappearance linked to cult activity, sources say. And beneath it, a small article dated 3 weeks later. Blackwood leaves town after accusations, daughter in tow. Daughter in tow. Me. The tackle box on the boat draws my attention. I lift it, surprised by its weight. Inside, fishing lures, hooks, sinkers. And beneath a false bottom, a revolver wrapped in oilcloth. 6 bullets in a plastic case beside it. My phone buzzes. A text from another unknown number. Where are you? Need to talk. Theo Thibodeau. Thibodeau. The missing child's family name. Before I can respond, headlights sweep across the unit's interior. A car door slams. I shove the gun into my bag, duck behind a stack of boxes. Footsteps approach, then stop at the entrance. Eliza? Sheriff Mercer's voice echoes in the metal space. Your car's outside. I know you're in here. I remain silent, hardly breathing. This doesn't have to get complicated. His boots scrape on concrete as he steps inside. We just want what's ours, the journals. Return them, and all this stops. He moves deeper into the unit, pausing at the boat. You're remembering, aren't you? His tone shifts, almost gentle now. Bits and pieces coming back. That night in the swamp, what your daddy did. My father didn't do anything, I say, standing. No point hiding now. Mercer turns, unsurprised. That right? Then why'd he run? Why'd he change your names, move states away? Why'd he tell you your mother died in childbirth when Charlotte Blackwood is alive and well in Baton Rouge? The ground seems to shift beneath me. What? Your mother never wanted you to know, paid good money to keep it quiet. He steps closer. Your father took that little girl, Eliza, and you saw it happen. No, the denial is automatic, but something cold unfurls in my chest. The raincoat in the boat, the child's handprint under the floorboard. You were there, he insists. You and Rosemary were friends, inseparable. Your daddy took you both out on that boat. He points to the John boat. Only you came back. Another memory surfaces. A little girl with dark braids, laughing as we chase fireflies. The same girl, crying on a boat. My father's hand covering her mouth. You're lying, my voice breaks. Wish I was, he sighs. Your aunt protected him, hid evidence. Those journals detail everything. The ritual killings, the children before Rosemary. Children, plural. My father wasn't a killer. No. Mercer pulls out his phone, shows me a photo. A necklace of tiny bones. Found this in your aunt's garden last week. Forensics matched them to 3 missing children from the 80s. He pockets his phone. Your father was the high priest of something ugly, Eliza, and Cordelia was his right hand. I shake my head, disbelieving, but the fragments of memory align into something horrific. The swamp at night, a circle of hooded figures, chanting. Where are the journals? Mercer asks again. I hid them. Smart girl. He nods toward the exit. Let's go get them. End this nightmare. As we step outside, another car pulls up. A man emerges, mid-30s, with features I recognize from the newspaper photos. Theo Thibodeau, brother of the missing Rosemary. You found her. His gaze fixes on me, raw with emotion. She's cooperating, Mercer says. Theo approaches slowly, as if I might bolt. You look so much like him. His voice trembles. Do you remember me? We used to play together while our fathers had their meetings. Another piece clicks into place. My father and Raymond Thibodeau, Theo and Rosemary's father, mentioned together in Cordelia's journals, partners in whatever darkness infected this town. I don't remember, I lie. She has the journals, Mercer tells him. Theo's expression changes. All of them? Enough to understand what happened, I say carefully. Then you know they'll never let you leave. Theo glances at Mercer, then back to me. The families, what your father started, it never stopped. They just got more careful. Mercer's hand moves to his holster. That's enough, Theo. Tell her, Theo urges, stepping between us. Tell her who really killed my sister. Mercer draws his gun. Back away now. It wasn't Michael Blackwood, Theo continues, eyes locked with mine. It was. The gunshot cracks the night open. Theo crumples, blood blooming across his chest. Behind him, Sheriff Mercer lowers his weapon. Now it's just you and me, he says calmly. And those journals.
The gunshot still rings in my ears as I dive behind the storage unit door. Mercer advances, his boots scraping against gravel. Theo's body lies motionless, blood pooling beneath him. My hand closes around the revolver in my bag. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Eliza. Mercer's voice is eerily calm for a man who just murdered someone. The journals, that's all we want. I slip around the corner of the building. My heart hammers against my ribs as another gunshot cracks the night, concrete splintering inches from my head. I run, crouched low between the rows of storage units. The gate looms ahead, too far. A memory flashes, running through swamp water, my father's urgent whispers. Don't look back, Lizbeth. Whatever you hear, don't look back. My car is exposed, a perfect target. I veer left instead, plunging into the thick undergrowth bordering the property. Thorns tear at my skin as I push through the brush, the Louisiana night swallowing me whole. Mercer's flashlight sweeps the trees behind me. Your daddy ran too, he calls out. Didn't end well for him. I freeze. The crash that killed my father. Was it really an accident? The questions multiply as I sink deeper into the swamp, mud sucking at my shoes. My phone buzzes against my hip. A text message illuminates the screen. Abandoned church, 2 miles south, follow the water, unknown number. I have no choice but to trust it. I orient myself using the moon's reflection on the black water and move south, keeping the channel on my right. Every snap of a twig sends my pulse racing. The night creatures fall silent as I pass, as if holding their breath. After what feels like hours, a steeple emerges against the starlit sky. The abandoned church rises from the swamp like a forgotten sentinel, its wooden bones bleached by decades of sun. The door hangs askew on rusted hinges. I step inside, floorboards groaning beneath my weight. You came. A woman's voice, familiar yet strange. I wasn't sure you would remember the way. She steps from the shadows, older, lined, but with eyes I recognize instantly from the photograph in the locket. My mother, Charlotte. The name feels foreign on my tongue. They told me you died, and they told me you wouldn't remember. She approaches slowly, as if I'm a wild animal that might bolt. But Cordelia was right. The blood knows. My hand tightens around the gun. What happened to Rosemary Thibodeau? Pain flashes across her face. You don't remember all of it yet, do you? I remember enough. My voice trembles. The boat, the pink raincoat, my father's hand over her mouth. Charlotte shakes her head. No, Eliza. Your father was trying to save her, to save you both. Another memory surfaces. My father's desperate face as he pushes us under a tarp. Men's voices nearby, calling his name. The cold metal of something pressed into my tiny hands. If they come, use this. A whistle. The cult wasn't your father's, Charlotte continues. He infiltrated it. Michael was working with the FBI, gathering evidence against the Founder's Circle, the real power in St. Cyril. I struggle to process this. But the journals, Cordelia's journals document everything. She was Michael's confidant, keeping records of the cult's activities, evidence that couldn't be traced back to him. Charlotte paces the rotting floorboards. We never expected them to take Rosemary, to escalate so quickly. The wooden door crashes open. Sheriff Mercer stands silhouetted against the night, gun raised. Touching reunion. Charlotte steps in front of me. It's over, Daniel. You can't bury the truth anymore. Mercer laughs, the sound echoing through the empty church. Truth? What would these good people think if they knew their beloved founding families sacrificed children for prosperity, for power? His pale eyes fix on me. Your father discovered our ways, thought he could stop centuries of tradition. I feel the weight of the gun in my bag. You killed Rosemary and the others. We gave them purpose. Mercer steps closer. Your father almost ruined everything that night, took you both out on the water, trying to escape. But we found him. The final memory pieces click into place, the boat rocking violently as masked figures surrounded us. My father fighting as they dragged Rosemary away. Her screams, the splash. I hid under the tarp, I whisper, the realization burning through me. While they took Rosemary, while they held your father down and made him watch what happens to those who interfere. Charlotte's voice breaks. I arrived too late, found Michael half dead, hysterical about finding you. We searched all night. Mercer's smile turns cruel. But he never found little Rosemary, did he? Because you killed her. My voice is ice now. Like you killed those other children, like you tried to kill my father years later when he wouldn't stop looking for evidence. Your aunt helped him hide you, Mercer says. New identities, new state. But Cordelia kept those journals as insurance. As long as she had them, the founding families left Michael alone. Until she died, Charlotte finishes. The protection ended. They staged the break-in at your house, looking for the journals. The text messages suddenly make sense. Theo was warning me, trying to help. Mercer shrugs. Raymond Thibodeau chose our ways over his own daughter, but his son grew sentimental, weak. He gestures with his gun. The journals, Eliza. Now. I made copies. The lie flows easily. Sent them to the FBI, just like my father would have. Uncertainty flickers across Mercer's face. Behind him, a shadow moves. Loretta Guidry, clutching something in her hands. Daniel Mercer, she calls, voice strong despite her fear. The circle is finished. Mercer whirls, firing instinctively. The bullet strikes Loretta in the shoulder, but not before she throws something at his feet. A tape recorder, still playing. Sacrifice children for prosperity, for power. Mercer's own voice echoes back at him. We gave them purpose. His face contorts with rage. He aims at the device, but I'm faster. The revolver discharges with a deafening crack. Mercer staggers, clutching his chest, disbelief etched across his features as he crumples to the church floor. For a moment, nobody moves. Then Charlotte rushes to Loretta, pressing her hands against the bleeding shoulder. Hold on. I approach Mercer cautiously. His breath comes in wet gasps, blood bubbling at his lips. Others will come, he wheezes. The circle protects its own. Not anymore. I kneel beside him, just out of reach. Theo wasn't the only one gathering evidence. Your circle has been under federal investigation for months. Cordelia reached out before she died. This isn't a lie. I see it now. The obituary in the back of one of the journals with a coded message. Cordelia's final act, setting events in motion. Mercer's eyes widen, then slowly dim as the life bleeds out of him. Sirens wail in the distance. Loretta struggles to sit up despite Charlotte's protests. State police, she gasps. I called them before coming here. They have. She winces. They have everything. All the evidence Theo collected over the years. Theo? I ask. Loretta nods weakly. He and your father stayed in touch. After Rosemary,
After Michael's accident, Theo took up the cause. I sink onto a pew, the adrenaline leaving my body in a rush. Why didn't Theo just go to the authorities himself? The circle has people everywhere, Charlotte explains. Michael learned that the hard way. Theo needed absolute proof, beyond doubt. She looks at me with sad eyes. And he needed you. Me? Why? Because you saw them, Eliza. You were there, the only living witness to what they did to Rosemary. She takes my trembling hand. Cordelia knew you'd eventually remember. That's why she left you the house and the journals. Outside, car doors slam, voices call out. The cavalry arriving too late as usual. What happens now? I ask, looking between the two women who have waited decades for this moment.
Loretta's smile is grim through her pain. Now the bodies come up from the swamp. All of them. 2 days later, I stand at the edge of the water, watching as dive teams work methodically through the area marked on old maps found in Cordelia's journals. 6 bodies so far, including Rosemary. Children spanning 3 decades, all connected to families who opposed the founding family's interests. Detective Landry, the state police investigator assigned to the case, approaches with a clipboard. "Miss Blackwood, if you're ready to continue your statement." I nod, though I'll never truly be ready. The memories continue returning in fragments, some mercifully vague, others painfully vivid. My father's desperate plan to escape with Rosemary and me, to expose the circle. The ambush on the water, how he fought while I cowered, how he never stopped searching for justice. Arrests have rocked St. Cyril. Respected citizens revealed as monsters wearing human masks. The Thibodeaus, the founder's circle, a tangled web of power, corruption, and ritualistic murder spanning generations. Even the mayor, found with a hidden room containing artifacts that turn the strongest stomachs. My mother. It still feels strange to think of Charlotte this way. Stands at the police perimeter, watching me. We're strangers connected by blood and trauma, with years of lies between us. Healing that distance will take time, if it's possible at all. Theo's funeral was yesterday. I stood beside his wife and children, accepting condolences from strangers who called me hero, survivor, catalyst. None of those titles fit. I'm just the girl who hid under a tarp while evil men took my friend. The woman who finally remembered. The dive team signals. Another discovery. I turn away, unable to watch as they bring up another small bundle from the murky depths. "We don't have to stay," Charlotte says, suddenly beside me. "You've done enough." But I haven't. Not yet. I open my hand, revealing the locket Loretta gave me. Inside now is a tiny photograph of Rosemary, her smile frozen in time. "I made a promise," I tell Charlotte. "Not in words, perhaps, but in the space between memory and justice, I promised Rosemary and all the others that the truth would surface, just like their bodies from the swamp. That the circle would end with my generation." Back at Cordelia's house, my house now, I pack the journals carefully. They'll become evidence, their secrets finally serving the purpose my great-aunt intended. The hidden wall where I found them stands open, a wound in the house that mirrors the one in St. Cyril's history. I traced the child's handprint under the floorboard. Eliza was here. Yes, I was. And unlike Rosemary and the others, I escaped. I survived, to remember, to return, to reveal. My phone buzzes with a text from Detective Landry. They found a hidden chamber beneath the old church. More evidence, more horrors. Some debts can never truly be paid. Some wounds never fully heal. But as I step onto the porch and look out at the swamp, no longer quite so alien and threatening, I understand what Cordelia meant. The past isn't finished with us until we face it, name it, drag it from the darkness. St. Cyril will never be the same. Neither will I. The circles of power and protection have broken, leaving only the raw truth in their wake.
And in that truth, painful as it is, lies the only path forward. I descend the steps of the colonial house, my inheritance both more and less than I ever imagined. The Louisiana humidity wraps around me like an embrace as I walk toward the waiting car, toward whatever comes next. The swamp keeps its secrets, Cordelia wrote, but not forever, not anymore.